Hello, and welcome to Navigating to Success. I'm your host, Jeff Carlton, certified focal point business and executive coach. Extremely pleased to have Jeremy Pagel, the CEO and founder, I believe, of Innovative Media Solutions, IMS. Welcome, Jeremy.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you bet. Do you call it IMS or do you stick with Innovative Media Solutions?
Well, Innovative Media Solutions as a domain was taken, so I had to add group on the end, and then it became way too long. My partner is actually an amazing graphic designer, and so she's been working on a couple different logos, and suggested, and I agreed that it should be just kind of shortened to IMS. Uh,
Right
so
on. Yeah, well, branding is part of it. Branding is part of your business. So tell us about
mhm.
IMS and what you do. Tell me about your company.
Yeah, so we're based out of Grand Forks, North Dakota, my hometown. I've got long family ties here. One of the one of the biggest services, I guess, that we offer is consulting and actually putting people first. I don't remember if, or I don't know if anyone remembers, the old Matilda Disney movie where Danny DeVito's putting sawdust in car engines just so people can get far enough away where they won't turn around. Um, that's kind of how I view old school marketing. And so I made it a point to disrupt that and put people first, people over profits always, and be able to tailor whether that's SEO, which I've been doing for over a decade now. Started my digital marketing career during MySpace. I don't know if anyone remembers Tom. Where'd Tom go, right? But yeah, so we do everything from ethical implementation of AI systems to automations for businesses to smooth out processes or current company marketing audits. I like to audit businesses' current marketing and see if it's being effective for them on an ROI basis.
No, that's interesting, and that's those things are kind of espoused on your LinkedIn profile, and I appreciate that. And that's so one of the reasons why I've focused my niche market, my ideal clients in this Western Plains and Rocky Mountain West is that we seem to have a different set of core values than a lot of the urban environments. And so I had a podcast yesterday where we talked very much about how here in the West we collaborate to keep a healthy community and healthy business. So even competitors um, will help each other out in a pinch. So how big is IMS? How big are you?
I am a solopreneur. I do,
Solopreneur.
yep, I do have, again, my partner who helps keep all the ideas in my head organized because I have uh, terabytes of ideas. But that's it. I don't outsource. I have worked for large marketing companies remotely before working remotely was cool or the thing to do.
Right.
So with that being said, yeah, I don't outsource. I just do everything myself. I've had experiences, as has every entrepreneur who's been on Upwork or Fiverr or whatnot trying to find a service. It just hasn't worked, and so I like to keep everything in house and do it myself because I'm more than capable, and it helps kind of beef up my own skill set because I've been getting invited to a lot of public speaking events, and actually recently CXO let me know that I was shortlisted for Business Leadership Excellence Award, which will be in Vegas if I am nominated past the assessment board. So uh,
So that's pretty exciting. Let's talk about the public speaking thing. So what
yeah.
kind of topics? Because I saw that you'd actually gone to Grand Forks Air Force Base
Mm-hmm.
on your LinkedIn profile. What kind of topics are you being invited to speak on?
Yeah, and you're a vet as well.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I read your LinkedIn too, so I appreciate your service. Thank you very much. My grandparents were both Navy. Anyway, so what I get invited to speak for, that was for Boots to Business. So speaking to
Sure.
exiting military personnel about entering civilian life and if they had any businesses or startup ideas how could I assist them? So what I spoke on was, startup consulting, rather how to use simplistic, SEO or digital marketing tactics to identify target markets to kind of streamline their startup, because it can be a very, very rocky road, as we both know, starting up businesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many tries it takes. But that was an invite by the VOBC, and yeah, so I got to talk about how you could utilize AI and SEO, along with some extra tips on starting a business and getting in touch with the Secretary of State, registering your LLC if that's what you're going for, and then any other questions that they really had. So,
Oh, that's exciting stuff. So let's talk about niche market and necking that down. Who are your ideal clients? I mean, do you work locally or are you national?
so I am bringing my hometown of Grand Forks, North Dakota, into the current digital stage. That is a mission of mine. I love my hometown, and so I'm doing my best to do that. So local businesses, mom, pop shops, small businesses. However, I do work with a lot of orthodontists or dentists or healthcare providers, in implementing any systems that I, can see that would streamline and help quality of patient care.
Oh, okay. That's so we were going to talk about telehealth, because that seems to be an area that you're really specifically into. Um, Tell me more about that because I think you were doing that before it was really a thing. COVID really catapulted telehealth to the forefront. Um, but I think you were doing it earlier than that.
Yeah, I jumped on the beta testing for Microsoft and Google, and was given access to GPT very early. So finally, I'm ahead of the curve a bit, and in the telehealth, teletherapy, telemedicine space, especially in the Midwest. I'm in North Dakota, right? You're Montana. We both know that there's a lot of areas where, hey, in the winter, or just
Yeah.
depending upon seasonality, it's hard for, Farmer Joe or whoever to get to an appointment. So I saw that as no one else doing that, and starting to get partnerships with different telehealth software companies. I've had a few, and I have a few in the canon as well right now. I'm also developing my own. So I've been working on that for about 2.5 years now. And yeah, it's exciting, especially discussing with other, software companies that can't name them, NDAs and whatnot, but it's been a very fun experience to be able to collaborate with other CEOs that are on the same track, same mindset as me of, hey, how can we increase, care with patients? How can we decrease the cost, and how can we be there for more people and help more people? So again, people over profits always.
Yeah, and it's an interesting problem set. I think it's fairly intuitive for people watching this that in the rural environment we're challenged to get to specialists or even basic healthcare sometimes because of environmental or geographical constraints. But I would also make the argument that even in an urban environment, um, transportation and time and availability is equally as difficult. So I think it's not a geospecific problem so much. It's kind of a universal problem, but it certainly is one that has to be addressed out in the rural market. So I appreciate your efforts there.
Thank you.
That's really cool. One term that you used earlier towards the introduction was about the introduction of ethical AI practices. Pull that thread a little for me because I struggle with that myself a little bit.
Yeah. So being in the market of AI and how rapidly it's advancing, uh, there is an ethical way to introduce it into a business, right? So I'll take a SEO, for example, just because I have a lot of experience in that. I'm not trying to come out here and, there's a lot of YouTubers, there's a lot of people who will monopolize entire SERPs, entire search engine result pages, or use it for, we'll say non-ethical means. So what I want to do is make sure that, number one, a business knows how to use it, make sure that if I'm working with a healthcare provider, it's HIPAA compliant and it has the right server, it has the right, that's the biggest thing too, is I've seen a lot of mishaps and whatnot within the marketing space of HIPAA compliance, especially in the healthcare
Sure.
sector. And that happens too when you outsource. Not every country has HIPAA, and patient exactly, right. And protected patient information is of the utmost importance. Not everyone should see that. So ethical implementation of AI might be a slew of different systems, but making sure that they're compliant with the laws and regulations within the sector that you're working.
No, that's important, and it's the internet is it's the introduction of AI. I mean, it was kind of the wild, wild west, and it's getting even more so. And we're seeing lots of out of out of continental United States, OCONUS actors coming in. So it's a very real concern.
It
So
is.
ethical and security, and it's really hard because now everybody's using a VPN, so nobody knows where anybody is actually at.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it touches on, you know, companies as a whole. Like how are you implementing that? What, and with ethical AI implementation is, number one, what is AI? How are we going to use it? And then where is that data being transported to? Where's the privacy? Where, and that dependent upon niche as well, but with
Mhm.
the healthcare sector, which is where I most specialize in, my grandfather was the first physiatrist in the state of North Dakota, and built what is now Altru's Physical Rehabilitation Center. So I have a long history with that, and a very profound respect, for HIPAA compliance, and it needs to be followed, and it's not always followed. So it's something that should be highlighted and people should be aware of.
Yeah, people should be comfortable with it. That their personal health is personal.
Yep.
I agree with that 100%. So tell me about your future plans. Are you happy with this just being a solopreneur, or do you see yourself on a growth trajectory?
I see myself on a growth trajectory, but I am happy being a solopreneur. It's awesome making all the decisions and taking all the good and the bad.
You've got the HR department in your control.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I am everything from HR to copywriter, to website designer to chatbot trainer. But what I see myself doing, number one, am I happy? Way too deep of a philosophical question, but I am happy doing what I'm doing because I can see, working with the different nonprofits or working with healthcare providers, I can see the effect that it has, not just as a whole, but in my community. And my growth trajectory is being able to hire students, from University of North Dakota, where I've also been invited to speak to the marketing club there, and really just try to inject AI and help my community as well.
So, real quick, because we're kind of getting towards the end here, but tell me who your ideal client is.
My ideal client is, this is going to sound very generalized, but my ideal client is any business that's ever been screwed over by a marketing company, because
All right, dude, you just dropped the drawbridge and kicked the door down because now that's everybody.
yeah, well, there's a lot of horror stories, in the space, and I think it needs to be cleaned up. I mean, it's a bit of a dumpster fire. So if someone really puts a solution oriented mind and a connection and a people first oriented mind towards any problem, especially in this sector, you don't need to always be upselling. You don't need to always be pitching. You don't need to always be trying to reach into someone's bank account or wallet, you know? So, that's been my experience at least. That's probably not everyone's, but I want to make sure that I'm there for the people to regain that trust and kind of restore the name of digital marketing and SEO. And because there's been a lot of trust lost, you know, and I don't take the used car salesman approach, like I said earlier. So it's really about just putting people first and solving their problems and actually caring about the issues because, well, they're a part of the community or they have, you know, a family to feed too.
Yeah. That's a really great close. And a solid period at the end of the sentence that it's not just ethical AI, it's ethical business. And
It is.
a lot of people have lost that. And it, yeah, you can make a buck, but really, are you making a buck at your own expense? Um, because at the end of the day, we have to live with each other, and you're building the community, and you know, your reputation will follow you. So I
Exactly.
really appreciate without asking you specifically what the core value set is, I think you espoused it pretty well. So I
Okay.
appreciate where you're going with that and what you're trying to do for your industry and for your community, because that's a really important driver. And I mean, what a great way to throw out your why. You know, there's no
Exactly.
doubt why Jeremy Pagel is doing what he's doing. So, any parting shots before we sign off this episode?
I wish everybody the best of luck with what they're doing in their business. Remember to keep your chin up, you know, put your sales up and sail straight. Find those pain points and help people. Put people first. Be solution oriented and remember that everyone has something going on and just persevere. Keep going. You got this.
Great. Love it. All right. A great business journey explored. As you explore your own out there, good luck, and we'll see you on the next episode of Navigating Success to Success. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you. I appreciate you.